Did you figure it out?
Yeah.
You got it all figured out?
Yeah. Like, what the hell?
Okay. It's
Gotta make shit happen. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey,
good
y'all.
evening,
How's y'all
good
doing?
Evening. What's going on?
Look, everyone's on time. I mean, listen,
What's
we made it
crack-a-lackin'?
happen. Look at that. Look at God.
Yeah, I'm here my same time as I normally am, minus last week. But now, funny how I got here and you got here at the same time. So that means that your ass is late because you're usually here before I get
honey.
here.
Anytime before 8 o'clock is on time.
Okay.
Last week, you were not on time.
We already acknowledged that I was late.
Okay.
All during this show.
You sure did.
All before it.
You had your ass here on time because I got in that ass last week.
Is that's what makes you sleep at night?
That was what it was. That was what happened. That was what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happened. I got in that ass. You understood, what was going on, what was going down, who it was, and how everything was going. And so you got your shit together.
We're not going to do this. Not what these people calling. We're not going to do this. Like, we just not going to do this.
Well, God bless your ministry. Ooh,
like, y'all just going to call? Like, really? Mm-mm. But anyway, good evening. And I'm chewing on this gum like it is the last piece of everything from 1972.
Yes.
But I'm going to get rid of that. But anyway, so good evening. Welcome to the BGKH Show. This is episode 57. And my name is Epic.
And I am Dominion.
And again, welcome to the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic.
What that stand for?
So, from what I understand, the B is actually for the blacks.
The blacks. Okay.
Right. Those people.
You people.
Right. Those people. Mm-hmm. Those people. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm channeling my inner Naomi. I mean, I'm European. Mm-hmm. So, but, the G, what was that for?
The gays.
Yo people.
I'm not gay. I'm still questioning.
Questioning which man is you put the finger next.
How dare you?
I mean.
How very dare you?
Spot the lie. Right. Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. And the K?
The K is actually for the kinky people.
Ooh, there's going to be a lot of that this weekend, both here and...
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know about here.
I mean,
I don't know about here.
They're going to be like, ooh,
it might
look.
be a little bit something going on.
Ooh,
might be a
we
little
having
bit.
sex in the park. Ooh, we're kinky. Ooh, we're having a threesome. Ooh. Look.
And with the lights on.
Ooh. Ooh, I'm wearing a glitter harness. Ooh.
This is where the shade comes in at. But you wear a glitter harness. That's the shade. That is the shade.
If you feel shaded.
I mean, for the ones that is going to buy a glitter harness and wear glitter harness, then unfortunately, I'm just saying,
There it is.
But anyway.
What that does? It makes us all human. Yes.
Yeah, that's where we are.
So, let's see. Blacks, the gays,
so what's going on?
And the human.
Well, before we get into all that, how was your week?
That was what I was saying. Banter. I was banter about our week. Okay. So, I got to start with what happened today. So I am in my.
Well, what happened today?
So I am in my cubicle, right? The three people that sit not in my cubicle, but in our cubicle area.
Okay.
And so I'm speaking to one of the guys, and he turns around, and his breath hits me like a solid wall of vomit. Now, we have all smelled somebody's breath, and their breath might not have been the most fresh. But his breath literally smelled like vomit. Like, I was starting to get, you ever like if you ever thrown up and then like it's in the toilet and then like in addition to you being sick, you smell it and that
smell it and you're like,
sick. Oh. You're like, Bleh, and then you're like, oh God, that's even worse.
Yeah,
that was how it was. The smell of his vomit breath was making me feel like I was about to throw up. So I was just like, ugh.
That's a lot.
And I was just like, your wife got to say something to you about that. I mean, there's no way that she don't.
He may have drank lunch and then threw it back up.
He could have, but. And so because he just started this, so I don't know him well enough to be like, mint. But I certainly took a mint because,
mint, motherfucker!
Because, the mint gets up in your nasal passages and that just cleaned out all of that funk.
Get you a mint, motherfucker!
Right. So last night I had yesterday was very busy for me. I had interview number 4 for the job with United Airlines.
Amazing. What happened to like 1 or 2 interviews? Like when does that even happen? Like we now
so I've
like
had 2 phone
3 and
interviews,
4 and 5 now.
And then I drove all the way out to Dulles for the interview, and when I get there, pleasantries, blah blah blah. I had a lovely conversation with with the woman that was there about restaurants and finding places to eat in the city and out at Dulles and then also in the city and everything. And then the guy shows up and he says, so and so couldn't join us. And so we're talking, we're having a wonderful conversation. They kept talking about when you start and stuff. And, I was like, is this what they say to everybody? Or am I just like, am I that bitch? So, we'll see. But then at the end, he was like, so I still want you to meet some of the stakeholders. So we're going to schedule another one next week. I was like, you know how far it is to get out here in the middle of the fucking day?
The fact that somebody even says Dulles has even a flight, someplace to just take off on a trip, I get angry. I'm like, what?
But for the money, for the money that they're offering, listen, I'll commute to Dulles every day, and I'll have to because my job I will literally be sitting in an office area in the airport.
Okay.
Not like I'm not just gonna be sitting out there handing out luggage tag.
Mint luggage tag.
Right.
Complimentary bag of peanuts.
Your bag is overweight, sir.
Complimentary bag of peanuts.
Your bag. Yes. Your bag is overweight.
The one that's ripping at the seams that you have to, with the tape on the outside. You gotta
take something out. That's not my problem, sir.
Yeah.
Next, please step out of line. Next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
No, next. So then I did that. So, I left the Pentagon, drove all the way out to Dulles, then came back, parked. And then on the way home, I had the third phone interview for this other job. And that one went well, too. Now, you see, this one is local at the Ronald Reagan Building.
Okay.
So both of these jobs pay significantly more than I make now.
Okay.
But the one out at Dulles pays significantly more than significantly more.
But then you're also
like it will put me in a new tax bracket.
But you're also going to incur another.
Yeah, because I'm finding an apartment
as well. Because like we were talking about that. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would look for a little pied-à-terre. Actually, the pied-à-terre is the apartment in the city. So my house is a pied-à-terre. But no, I would find like a little efficiency or a studio, somebody I can lay my head and bring a trick to, near Dulles or whatever, or Herndon or that area, so it will reduce.
But the funny thing is, I wonder if that's going to be inexpensive or not.
Well, if I'm looking as small as possible, looking, it's like literally like an efficiency, just like one room with because I'm not gonna be like cooking big meals and shit,
Well, yeah, I mean,
I need an apartment size refrigerator and freezer, a bed, a shower, and a place to hook up the TV and some good internet, and that's probably about it. Because I'm not going to spend a lot of money on that because I still got a house because I'm not selling my house.
So yeah, I definitely get that.
But the second job that I interviewed for today, I got contingent offer letter. Oh. So if that starts in September, so then I'll be in a position to be like, How is this commute to Dulles working out?
Is this working out for me or not? Is there an option for some telework or not?
Well, we will have already explored that in the upfront, so we'll see what they say. And listen, once you get to a certain point in your career, you have to go where the jobs go.
Oh well, yeah.
So I would take it, and it might not be too bad, especially if I find an inexpensive little spot. Now it would definitely have to be alone because my slave was like, well, maybe you could find somebody, who need a room to rent. I was like, no, honey, I'm not renting a room from anyone. I got to have my own place with a key where I can come in and go and take all my clothes off and can't nobody tell me what I can and can't do. I'm already gagging because I'd be living in an apartment or something. I haven't lived in an apartment in a long time. What? I mean, I've rented. I mean, I had just, before I had my house, I lived in the in unit of a townhouse. Before that, I lived in another townhouse. So it's been a very long time, like 20 years since I've actually lived in an apartment building.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not saying I'm too fancy to rent, although, you know, the idea of, you know, the common people, you know, on both sides and above and behind, you know, we'll just have to see how it works out.
In other news.
So how was your week? Oh, and then I had a sleep study. And that sleep study was foolishness because it was cold as shit in the room. They give you this little thin ass blanket. You know, they got leads and shit all over your head and your chest and down your body and everything. So I didn't get any sleep. So when I leave here, I'm going to the Eagle to get that one drink that's going to help me.
You'd be like,
oh, this was lovely. Bye.
Gotta go bye. See ya.
Right. So, you know, and I'm also packed. I'm halfway packed for IML. I have my toy bag packed. It is 44.6 pounds.
Here's the gag. How many bags do you actually have?
I'm going to have 2 check-in bags because I'm flying Southwest. I'm going to maximize that. Now, the other bag is probably only going to be about 25 or 30 pounds.
Those are the clothes.
Those are the clothes, yeah. 2 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of shorts, some leather gear, 2 pairs of boots, and 2 pairs of tennis shoes.
Okay.
And any other toys I can't fit in the other bag.
But 40 pounds of toys. 46 pounds.
44.6 pounds of
44.6 pounds of toys.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll have
still
2 carry-ons. Yeah. I'll have my backpack and a carry-on. With the backpack will probably be empty and carried in the carry-on so that, you know, if I buy anything in IML, which I will, I'll have a place to put it. Or I have a place to put other stuff out of my luggage, so that will then go in the bag, because most likely it'll be like toys or floggers or whatever. And, you know, I'm not trying to have the little confrontation with the gate agent where they're like, what is this? I was like,
bend over and I'll show you.
Right. You know, you can be cute if you want. I'm grown. I can carry whatever I want in my luggage. So there we go. So anyway, so how was your week?
My week was good. I actually had had a chance to go see my mom during the week. Bought her some shoes, and that finally came. Like, this is foolishness. This is like, I don't know where my luck is and what's going on with luck, but like when I order something now, it's like seems like it takes like 2 weeks.
Why?
I'm like, what the hell?
Only order through Amazon Prime.
Listen, so I'm learning that lesson. But anyway,
I literally don't order something if it's not available on Prime.
Well, so I did that. I did get them. I took them up there, and, you know, so they looked real comfortable. She liked them. It's like, all right, fine, you know. So that was a good thing to do. I am supposed to be preparing for the next 2 weeks, where I will be out of the office for a week because I'll be in Baltimore working and doing our thing for my program at work.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to front you a hotel in Baltimore?
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be cute.
Yes. So
get a little Baltimore date.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, but the week started out great, but then it kind of ended. Actually, you know what? It started out good on Sunday, but then somewhere between Monday and Tuesday and this morning, it went to shit, and just people, just in general. Mm-hmm. And but we've gotten through that because I've resolved that I'm done. I'm just not. It's not really my issue. It's your issue. I'm done. So
this is work stuff?
Nope.
Ugh.
Nope. I'm done with it. So, but other than that, so far it's been pretty good. I woke up every day this week so far, so I'm good.
Well, there we go.
You know, it's been a good week. It's been I've been entertaining some conversation from this new person who wants to try to come and visit, and so there's a slight language barrier because
where are they from?
Well, they're Asian. And they're from the West Coast. But in our age bracket, they didn't necessarily learn. They came late. So it's a little bit of an age. So I'm text messaging stuff, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Anyway. So, but having some good conversation with that and trying to figure out where that's going to go. Because anytime you want to, have me to basically just come in the door and just take my shoes off and you got the rest, I was like, 99.09. Get it. We gonna make that work. But anyway, so but yeah, having some good conversation. In fact, they wanted to come through later on this evening, but it's a little late by the time I would get home. Huh? No.
Oh. Which I mean, and I didn't mean it like, how dare you? It's not like that. Not like last week. It was like that's my husband of 6 years.
In comparison, they are fluent.
Oh, but no, you know what I'm talking about. 6 years.
I
was your lover and your secretary.
But other than that, it's been a good week. And so it's been good. Congratulations on both the job offers. So I didn't actually say it.
So so the one is, but I mean that contingent job offer don't mean shit until they actually like, hey, can you start on Monday? And then the other one, we still in interview. I thought this was interview 4 or 4, and when I got there, it was interview 4 or 5. So we'll see what happens with that.
Just go on in and shake your titties real quick. And
right. Good. I mean, listen, if they offer it, I'm going to take it because, it'll be good. And even if I end up taking the other one, that'll be a cute little salary increase over the summer.
Listen, increase is good. And at this particular point, the last year, well, not the last year. The last year has been kind of difficult for everybody. Yeah. So, I think that's been that'll be a great way to start off the summer. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, what the hell not? Celebrate. Congratulate and celebrate. I'm congratulating, so go celebrate.
Thank you, but I'm not celebrating. I'm not spending any of that money.
I didn't say spend a dime. I'm just saying celebrate. Be happy that you got it.
Yeah, because I got that $3,400 for this cruise is due by June the 5th. So
I keep forgetting about that shit.
Yeah, so that means yours is due June the 5th too. So
so
I think
I don't understand. Like, why is it June as opposed to
because normally it's like 60 days out.
So it's like would have been like August. But whatever. I mean,
right. I mean, I'm gonna pay it. It's not an issue. So
it's like Jesus.
Listen. It's gonna work. And listen, I already told the one job. So I was like, so what time off look like? And this is the thing.
Just so you know, these are the dates that
I was like, so the middle of October,
I will not be available.
I have something
and he was
like, yeah, but you can telework. I was like, bitch, I will be in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I am not teleworking. Now, I'm glad that we're having this conversation about telework because that Friday, because the 4th of July is on a Thursday. So that's like that Friday, you're already on the list. So it's me, you, and Cujo, and De Niro.
That is going. Is he right now? Mm-hmm. That is going to be one old trip. Oh my God.
Foolishness and fuckery, but
the comedy on the way down there.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna be. Anyway.
So I was just like, So I'm gonna be out.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it. I was having that conversation even when I was interviewing last. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and give this shout out.
Did you ever call them and be like, hey, what's going on?
Let me give the official shout out to them. That's what that old bullshit. Y'all bullshitting because now we're going a different direction with the job. And I was like, thank you all for my time and my gas. I'm being sarcastic because I done spent a lot of this bullshit to come up out of here. But whatever, that's fine. I took my time off and everything else. But whatever, going a different direction. And I'm laughing because somebody said to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they called you again.
They might, because what they do is, that happens a lot. They have this idea of what they want the position to be. Then they start to see what kind of experience people have, and that changes the nature of what they're looking for.
And that's exactly where that came from. So I was like, all right, whatever. But I have this like I'm being bitter Blanche. But like, what are you calling me back for now for? That's if it happens. I'm already thinking.
If they call you back, you can be like, okay.
Yeah, probably, but still, But anyway, but other than that, it was a good week, and so. Yeah, it was a good week.
You missed 2 people here, so let's.
I probably did.
Coming up this week are a couple of things. So we have DC Black Pride. So why don't you talk about that while I figure out who else I'm
DC Black Pride is going on. It has been going on since 1990 something.
Yes,
it's like early 90s. And so basically, I'm thinking that the premise of DC Black Pride was started because Capital Pride was already going on, and then they wanted something specifically for DC Black Pride. But I could be wrong. But again, I did find out that there were 2 people that were instrumental in the founding of DC Black Pride. So neither person I can remember the name at this particular point in time, but they are both deceased from what I understand. So, but thank you anyway. But anyway, DC Black Pride. So Onyx is going to be participating in DC Black Pride this year. We have a couple of different things that are going to be going on. DC Black Pride has things that are going on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. They even have stuff that's going on Wednesday and Thursday night in the city. So the city's already ramping up and revving up. So there's probably no CVS in the DMV area that has any enemas or peppermint soap or anything. So for the girls that are coming into town, yeah, bring your stuff in with you. So
do the kids still? That was my thing, because
any lubes and ointments. If you don't stop at Comfort Zone, or you ain't stopping at,
I don't even know where that is.
I'm just saying, they got if they coming from the north, they got to pass it right next to the IKEA. But anyway. But
yeah, because I was wondering, do the kids still go in for DC Pride like that? Because like I stopped going after 2010 because the crowd kept getting thinner and thinner, and it was raining every year, and that was when Sizzle was ramping up and a few other things.
Sizzle has ramped up and fizzled out all. They even
really?
stopped. That's like
in Miami.
Yeah, and
then what was in Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico was that debacle that happened where the kids got.
Well, that was 2 debacles. So
yeah.
It started off. They had the Labor Day goop. And the Labor Day goop happened because he didn't meet all of his expectations for the Memorial Day. So he was using the kids' money for the Labor Day to pay the back bills from Memorial Day. So when the kids showed up for Labor Day to Dominican Republic, they had no rooms available.
None whatsoever.
And listen, seasoned hoes like us, that would have never happened, because the kids were like, oh, well, he said everything was going to be okay. I was like,
if you ain't got no confirmation number,
get your ass on a plane without a physical confirmation from the hotel of where you are going to lay your head.
Do it. Don't you do it.
And then, like even the language they use, like on their website, they said they have a finance plan for you to pay stuff, and then they talked about
goopery.
I was like, girl, that's goopery. Not so a finance plan means that based on your word and your good credit, they advance you the funds with the promise to pay. What they had was a layaway plan.
Goopery. Meaning
that they took your money, used it to pay other bills, and then you got there with the shaft. See, this is why big trips like this trip to this cruise is going on the Marriott. Something happens, it's called Marriott up. Or you put it on your American Express. Listen, I understand everybody ain't got that, but either do that or get travel protection or do something.
Absolutely.
Because you don't, listen, I'd be damned if I'm going to get stuck.
Yeah, I'm not great to do that. But anyway, so back with DC Black Pride. So we are going to have a whole host of events of things that are going to be going on, specifically that are Onyx related. Friday we'll be at a booth, which is going to be in the Renaissance Hotel. The DC Black Pride Committee is having what's called a Rainbow Row, I believe it is, where they have a whole host of vendors and organizations that will be out there. So Onyx will have a booth. Stop by and come see us. And then also on Saturday, we are having Onyx U, where there will be some demos. There's a whole slew of events that are planned between 12 and 5. If you go into the DC Black Pride's website, you can actually see all the things that are going to be going on. So I'll be there.
And that's at the Renaissance.
That's also at the Renaissance as well.
9th and...
Renaissance Northwest.
That's not the same Renaissance, the normal Renaissance? Is across from the convention center?
I don't
That's
recall.
On 9th Street?
I don't recall. I don't recall. But anyway, if you go into DC Black Pride's website, you'll get the actual physical address. But we'll be there. So come through and, show up. And
that's the we that aren't going to Chicago.
Yes, because I will be here. This one is going to Chicago.
Yes.
And then there are several brothers in Onyx that are actually not going to Chicago as well, so they'll be there as well.
So there's this thing that we do in May called International Mr. Leather. It's I guess we'll call it the world's largest leather contest and shenanigan fest.
The biggest comparison will be Continental for drag.
Yes. So it's a lovely thing. We have 6 of our family competing, including Mr. New Jersey Leather 2019, Lynx Onyx, Mr. Ramrod 2018, Elimination Onyx, Mr. Maryland Leather 2019 Scorpius Renegade, Mr. Chicago Leather 2019 Saber Onyx, Leatherman of Color 2019 Exile Onyx, and Mr. Kentucky Leather 2018 Esoteric Wolf Onyx.
Yes.
So we have 6 people competing out of a class of 72. So that's a 1 in 9 chance.
Is it 69 or 72?
I've heard 72.
Okay. All right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And so, in my fantasy, all 6 of them make the top 20 at a minimum, and that, the chances that all 3 of them will make the podium, but I'm not going to say who I want to make it, but I have sent out a few messages of congratulations, and I just want to say congratulations to all of them for being whoever it is that you represent. And I want you to remember that you have something. There's some of these kids who the entirety of their personality is wrapped up in whether they place in this contest. We want you to place, but your Onyx family still loves you even if you don't place, because you represent us and you have a platform.
Yes.
Each one of you has something important that you're doing in the community that will continue whether or not you make it to the top 20, whether or not you make the platform, whether or not you become the next IML. Now, that said, if you don't make the platform, don't come home. I'm 100% kidding, or am I?
So I will be 100% honest and share what I share with all of you guys as something that I shared with Exile as well. Listen, this particular event is, for many people, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Sometimes people go back for a second time.
Very few. Rarely.
But again, if that does happen, congrats for that. But again, for the majority of them, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So here's what I've said to them. I said, please enjoy this moment.
Right.
Take the time while you are there to enjoy the moment. We get so wrapped up in stuff sometimes that we don't actually sit down and actually enjoy the moment. One of the first times I actually did that for myself was I was on a cruise, and it was a sunset cruise, and I actually stopped and sat down for a second and just looked into the sky, and I was like, this is absolutely everything. And it made that moment so much more. And so that's one of the biggest memories I have of that particular cruise. So I say that to anybody involved in this event, IML, and any other event that you're going to be participating in. Sit down and enjoy the moment, because it may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We never know what's going to happen, and enjoy yourself in that moment. So best of luck to all the Onyx family. Best of luck to all of the participants for IML. But Onyx fam, I need you to come back with some trophies.
Right.
Medals.
At least hoe a lot.
Well,
at least. I expect to see a lot on Twitter.
There's certain things that I just think are going to be a given for certain people.
Well, listen, some of them hoe all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So also congratulations to James Lee, our Onyx brother from Great Lakes, who is the current international Mr. Leather. Congratulations, international Mr. Leather, who's had a really, really good year. He has represented us as well. And he's done an excellent job, and we are so proud of everything that he has done. So congrats to him, too.
Second member of Onyx that has
the second
Mr. IML.
The second IML who has been a member of Onyx.
A member of Onyx, yes.
Not the second black person.
No. Of Onyx, I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So, listen, history's being made every single day.
So I got that planned. I got a lot of shenanigans. Listen, I ain't bringing all that shit for nothing.
Your 44.6 pounds of toys are going to be interesting.
I made a whole new
I'm going to need you to just do a
blue.
blog instead. I need you to just do a blog. I don't want to hear that. I just do a blog so I can just log in and just kind of say, okay, Dominion's blog.
Travel
this is where we are. Okay. At old
Dateline.
Right. I just need all of it. And to Steel Toe, who I just see has just got on the line, I'm going to send out this special and specific sit your ass down.
Right. I was like, heart troubles. What the fuck is going on?
So we tried to sit back and figure out what the hell was actually really going on. And I get it. We all have a lot of stuff going on in our lives. And I don't think that he really thinks about how much stuff is really going on in his life. And I'm like, sit your ass down.
Exactly.
Sit down.
Sit it down.
But we're glad you're here and glad you got back out of the hospital.
Right.
Anyway. We got to talk about our sister Malaysia Booker. Yes.
Was found at 6:40 p.m. in the 7200 block of Valley Glen Drive in Far East Dallas. If you remember, this is the woman who, I guess it was about a month ago. Mm-hmm. She was the trans woman who was being beaten while people were filming it, and the guy was offered $100 to fight her. Well, she was found fatally shot a couple of days ago. So rest her soul, rest in peace, and, remain vigilant. So, vigilance means for us who consider ourselves cisgender men, gay or straight, when you see or hear other cisgender men making comments, particularly other gay men, because that's who we hang around with. If you're at IML, if you're at Black Pride, if you hear people making comments about trans people, it's our responsibility to stand up for our sisters. Not that they need our protection in the way that, delicate and fragile women need protection, but in the way that we would stand beside our own sisters, beside the women in our lives, and not allow them to be abused or made fun of. Yeah. These trans people already have so much they're going through in their lives, and they're looking for us not to protect them, but to stand beside them as they fight. And they feel it when, we stand there and don't say anything when jokes are being made or whatever, or when we post memes or say things that we think are, funny or whatever, but, might be considered hurtful.
Yeah. It's a lot of self-editing, and when you realize how many things that may come out of your mouth mm-hmm. or may possibly be looked at as being transphobic, it really makes you think about just a lot of other things. Mm-hmm. But again, it's something that everybody needs to be very vigilant about as far as what you say and how you make people feel, just in general. Mm-hmm. So, but I rest in peace, and hopefully her family has some comfort in some way at this particular point in their lives. I don't even know. I can't even finish that in any other way to make it sound better than what it is, but
yeah.
My condolences.
So, on a much, much, much lighter note.
I know where you're going with this.
Get your TVs together. What does it say? What is coming?
It's supposed to actually happen in the
I know it's in
summer.
June.
And it says June.
So it's the Bobby DeBarge story on TV One. Now, when you see the commercial, well, we all know the DeBarge family were that sort of stereotypical, pretty, light-skinned family. And that is apparently the only requirement to be in this movie, is to be light-skinned and have light eyes. The wigs in this movie are atrocious.
But wait, we got to give a shout out to another horrible mention. Mm. The Aaliyah movie. Check out the Aaliyah movie.
I never saw the Aaliyah movie.
Produced by Wendy Williams production company.
Uh-huh.
But you gotta also check out in this movie how they cast Timberland and Missy.
Mm-hmm. In the Aaliyah movie? Well, I'm about to find that on.
Oh my God!
It was bad.
It was horrible. That's like they put Maurice in the movie, somebody that we know, and like, you're Missy. Like, what?
So if you want a good Kiki, now Bobby DeBarge's story is actually kind of tragic.
It's very tragic.
He was the lead singer of this group called Switch. I Want to Be Closer, a couple of other hits. He had this really beautiful falsetto voice, but like a lot of people, he had demons. Their family was fucked up.
They have a lot of issues.
Fucked up.
All of them. From the father, the mother,
like
all
of
the
the
kids.
shit that like the Jacksons, our father, was crazy.
The Jacksons are dysfunctional too, but
but this is
that's a whole nother
the
level
Barnes
of
family was like a
dysfunction.
whole other level
Of dysfunction.
And
so when people talk about the families mirroring each other or when they, lean on each other for support, they both had a lot of shit going on.
Right, and so that's how probably Janet and James got together, because it was like, my family fucked up, look, my family fucked up too.
Yeah.
So
craziness.
But the wigs are gonna, like, they showed this one scene where like dude was laughing and the wig flipped back and you could see the edges. And I was just like, this is foolishness. So,
listen,
let me see what else. What we got before we get to Drag Race? So Game of Thrones ended. So it's completely over.
How are you feeling about Game of Thrones?
No, I'm not that person. I'm not.
Well,
like,
wait a minute. No. I'm not saying that, but you were upset because of the writing, and you felt like if you have to have any explanation afterwards, then the writing was terrible. That was what.
That was what I was saying with previous episodes. Here, the way that everything ended, like so many things just happened. Like I write, and so the challenge is, you have an idea of what you want to happen to your character.
Right.
And so that's fine. So sometimes the ends justify the means, but you got to make it justify. You can't just say, my character ends up here. You have to write the path that they get there. And so in this case, the guy who was, well, I don't want to spoil it for you because you might actually...
I'll get to it. I'm still stuck on. I'm still on season 4.
So the person who ends up on the throne, as it's the Game of Thrones. So someone ends up on the throne. You're like, really? And they're like small clues, but for something that big, it just to me it wasn't a well written reveal. So that was my thing, but it wasn't terrible. And so like my initial feelings about it, I've sort of mellowed on that. I mean, it's
So basically at this particular point, you had more fun on the journey than you did at the
I did. I had much more fun on the journey, particularly in the first several seasons. I did think a lot of things were rushed in the last couple of seasons because again, they sort of knew where they wanted to go, and they did like an outline and said, okay, this is how we get there. But, when you write an outline, you have these large points, but then you got to fill in all of the shit that gets you, there is A to B to C to D, but there's a lot of steps to get from A to B that you got to fill in.
Right.
You can't just say B happened because A. It's like, all right, you could say that, but it's a TV show, so you got to sort of like show that happening.
What do y'all think? Give us your impressions. Call in.
Yes.
240-719-2560.
So what were your thoughts on Game of Thrones?
Call in and tell us what you think about it.
So Umbrella Academy and Arrow.
So I finally got to the end of Umbrella Academy. So it's only one season out there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anybody knows what Umbrella Academy is. It is this collection of 7 kids that were born at this weird hour of the day and time with these 7 people. Like it's just this random, strange birthing, and they all had the same dates and times or as far as their date of birth.
Around the world, right?
Around the world. Mm-hmm. And so they were imbued with these, they were born with these powers, and they were all different. And so they became this kind of like this crime-fighting family. Mm-hmm. They had this man that adopted them who was very well off, and he was trying to groom them and train them to do other things. Well, the way the story starts off, it starts off kind of in reverse. It tells you what happened at the end, and they're trying to stop it from happening. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of season 1, which is what I've just now gotten to, I think it's maybe 8 or 9 episodes, because they're like an hour and a half episodes. It ended in a way that I'm like fiending for season 2 already. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting show. I definitely think you need to check it out because, like I said, they all have different powers, but there's a story inside of that because it's one of redemption. There's also a story of envy. There's also a story of love. There's also a story of, did I say envy already?
You did.
But again, there's a lot of different things that are going on. There's some treachery that's going on. There's some behind the scenes like spy versus spy type of stuff. Like it's a lot of things that are going on. But I definitely say jump into Umbrella Academy. And right now I'm looking for season 2. But from what I understand, season 2 is not due out until sometime in 2020.
Yeah, that's like, what happened with these shows.
It's like, okay. I'm like, all right. But
so far it's good. So we have time to talk next week and other weeks about Pose and Pose.
Marp and
Amistad, Marp and Tales of the City. So if you remember back in the 90s, I think it was the 80s and the 90s, on PBS, there was Tales of the City. It was a PBS miniseries or 3 miniseries based on Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin, which is about the lives of all of these people living on Russian Hill in San Francisco. So they have a new series coming out on Netflix. So luckily it won't be like direct competition against Pose because it's on Netflix, so you can sort of watch it whenever. But both of these are gay shows and something you should check out.
Yeah. I also was checking out Arrow as well. Arrow kind of sucked me in, and it's there's a huge backstory with with Arrow and how he came to be. He was stranded on his island for 5 years, but he's also the son of a billionaire. And I'm like, why is this story the same? Like, you have all these kids that are sons of billionaires or millionaires themselves, and they're some traumatic event, and it makes them, go into fighting crime. And so, but this one is actually pretty good so far. But 21 or 22 episodes into the first season, I was like, geez, this is a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
But we get to see other characters so far. Like I get to see the Huntress. She shows up, and the Huntress is actually Bruce Wayne's daughter. I think that's who she is. I think she's Bruce Wayne's daughter, supposedly a Bruce Wayne's daughter, I think. I might be confusing her. But anyway, there's another character that shows up. And so, again, that's just the first season. But this one's been pretty good. It's sucking me in to go and watch it. But these arrows and the ability to shoot this stuff, it's amazing. And so I'm sitting there saying, like, maybe I want to pick up a hobby.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, again, that was pretty good so far.
All right. Drag Race. Once again, foolishness and fuckery. All right, we'll start from the top. Evie and Silky, quote unquote, made up. But so here's the thing to me. My thing is
make up,
so much.
Silky just trying to get in a good place.
She was trying to get. You're right.
She's trying to get in a good place.
A lot of that drama that they do is a matter of editing and whatnot. And I don't think that the feelings from day to day are as intense as it's made to seem.
I believe, yeah.
Because, like, if you and I have never argued, but let's say we did have like 4 arguments, but if the only thing ever filmed is one argument after the other, it makes it seem like all we do is argue.
So I agree
over the course of 4 weeks.
I agree with
you. Know what I'm saying? So maybe it might not even have been that serious, but I didn't really care about that. Silky's heel, yes, that was foolishness.
Listen, this heel that's supposed to be sitting like this. Was sitting like this. It was like laying over to the side. I was like, Silky, you need to be shot for that heel.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah,
it's
okay,
whatever.
honey. I guess they like you. So, Rue and Michelle's podcast.
Yeah, because this week they did the Maxi Challenge was to do the video for Queens Everywhere.
Yes.
And so usually when they get down to the end, they kind of have these one-on-one sessions, but then they also have been bringing in the podcast that Rue and Michelle have posted. And so they start bringing in each of the people or each of the 5 contestants that are still there. So Akira, Brooklyn, Vanjie, Evie, and Silky. And so there were some interesting things. Like they were showing some previous pictures of Akira. First of all, she was cute.
She was.
I was like,
hey,
what's going on?
What's up?
And she's adopted parent, and so I love how she just kind of there were some legal issues, and this is how we wound up. And I was like, no,
we all know, girl. He was
on
crackhead. He was a crackhead or some shit, and so you had to take him over.
So,
but that happens in a lot of families.
And right, there's nothing wrong with that. So, there's something wrong with it, the fact that it happened. But again, there's nothing wrong with you stepping in to take care of that particular family member. So let me be clear about that.
And Brooks used the interpret. I was like, what? What? Okay.
Artistic interpret. And Michelle Visage shady ass. interpretation. She's like, that one. But Miss Vanjie, she's like, I couldn't get my haiku together. I was like, Vanjie, you talking too much, girl. You talking too much.
Right.
But they interviewed each one of the girls, and they had something that they talked about. Vanjie's mom is beautiful.
Yes.
And the fact that she said she doesn't know how old her mother is, I was like, girl, you have an idea. Subtract your age from where you think she might have been physically and go up from there. Like, come on.
Right.
But her mom does look very young, let me be clear. So, and she's a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
So good for you, Vanjie's mom.
Can I say for the Maxi Challenge, so, Evie Slade.
There is no, hands down, Miss Evie Oddly aired out the motherfucking competition. From her entrance all the way to her exit.
Everything that she did. The look was everything. And she was giving me a little bit of Mary J. Blige, with the pantsuit.
But she gave a little Beyonce with that partition type thing going on. Mm-hmm. It was flawless. But I will give a shout out to Miss Akiria, who in the video, not only did this hooker have a hair change, she did the video and it was good. Like, she was just in it. I was like, come on. And then I was laughing because she was doing these other little references. She's like, and where is the body?
Right.
The body is here. I was like,
yes.
Know your gay history, folks. Know your gay history.
Exactly. I thought Brooklyn's was I
liked her outfit, though.
Yeah. I would say
outfit,
usually fine. I thought the rap wasn't terrible, but I didn't.
It just wasn't. Biggest disappointment for me was Vanjie. Oh, Vanjie! I thought you was getting ready to slay.
Right, because she slayed it in the when they were learning the steps with Todrick, and I was like, okay, she about to fuck this up.
And she's just on stage
Vanjie, because Vanjie was dropped off of my list, but then coming into the Maxi Challenge, she was back in the list. I was like, okay, because she might could do it. She might could do it because I was really like Silky. Nah, Silky got to go. And because Silky just keep,
her classy ass coming out the bathroom, knocking people over, and then you would fall on the ground. Get your undergarments under control. Ugh.
Right. I'm just like,
Silky,
it's just the level. Listen, I'm not a drag queen. I have never done drag, so even Silky at her worst is probably better than what I could do. But let me be clear.
You are too much of a TJ for yourself to not have yourself all the way. Personality type.
Oh, mm-hmm.
For you to not have yourself together. Let's be clear about that.
Well, that's true. I would never get on TV looking like a fool.
That is not going to happen. So there are some things that even if it did happen, you'd be like, well, bitch, what? I mean, I'm still, bitch, what? Bitch, what? My ponytail's still on it. I'm still right. Listen. And the same thing goes for this one here. Mm-hmm. I've never been in drag, but let me tell you something. This hair is never going to fall off.
Right.
And this face is going to be beat. Now, I don't know what the rest of the outfit may look like, but it's going to be cute. So I'm just too vain for that. It's just not going to happen.
Yes.
So, but Silky, get your undergarments under control.
I just am not seeing it for her because it's just not the level of polish, and it just annoys me that they keep overlooking things that in past seasons other girls would have got sent home for. If you are at the top 5,
by this time,
if you can't, I mean, that's basic, to know how to pad and, to not have ran over heels and have a dress that's cute.
I'm gonna give her points because her final look, that was the best I've seen her look all season.
Yes.
And I think that was Akira's wig.
Yes, that wig did look familiar.
But okay, but I mean, it was the best that she's looked. She was cinched in, corseted up. It was great. Akira's gown was beautiful, and she said she had made it herself. Like, it was great.
That was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Brooklyn, I was just kind of like, okay, this ballerina.
Brooklyn always looks the same to me.
It's like it's a
and
costume.
It's cute, but I'm just like right.
It was a costume.
Right. You can say, well, drag is a costume. No, there's a difference between looking in the theme, and for me it always seems like a variation on a ballerina.
Yes.
And I mean, on one level it's cute, but on another level it's like when you do good, when you do well, the bar is even higher for you to bring something.
And I felt
better.
Like if she started off with that and then went up to something else, that'd be different. But this ballerina costume, I was like, right, whatever.
Vanjie, I can't even remember what Vanjie had on.
Vanjie had on that damn green too big dress. The ball gown.
Oh, yes. Right. I was like, why is that dress?
With the top of the bra showing.
Yeah, right. And I was like, is that on purpose? Yeah, because you could see the black broad. I was like, is that like a, because like sometimes the Puerto Rican girls do that shit. So I was like, maybe that's like
we are not going to go down that road.
So I was like, well, maybe it's like a shout out to like, the Puerto Rican high school girls as, showed bra,
So
am I lying or am I lying?
I do not know. But what I'm going to say is, I was having a conversation with this gal I was having a conversation with our brother. I told you all he does drag, and we were talking about it.
Trey said drag race was a hate crime last week. I agree.
A hate crime, but it was the torso. It's like your torso was like the wrong measurements.
Yeah,
you're petite and tiny, but you got a long torso, so you need to make that thing a little bit taller. I don't know, just.
The proportions were
off, and it's like, stop buying stuff off the rack if you have to get stuff made for you, and you've invested all this money.
That she probably
you've invested all this money, but she has invested money in some of her garments.
Some of them,
right? Maybe this will bring
and that's the thing is, there's nothing wrong with going to Saks and buying you a cute little cocktail dress off of a rack,
especially if it fits.
But
the alteration
cinch that in and
everything.
Do it and make it look like it's custom made for you.
And you could have sewn that in or sewn something else in to make it look to cover up. But hey, whatever.
And actually have breasts, so there's no need for you to have like a thing under it. And she doesn't always pad her breasts anyway. So if you're not going to do that, then what's the whole?
That's a whole other thing.
But so, anyway,
so I like the song though. I thought the song was cute, and the video.
Yes,
all one.
I'm trying to remember what I thought about Rue's garment. I recall that I didn't.
It was awful.
Oh yes, that's what I said. Not feeling Rue's organza fantasy.
It was awful. Like that was another one that like
it was right. It looked like she had on a bunch of organza
that was left
coffee
over
filters.
Left over from something else. That's what it was.
Yes.
And it was all put together and put into a gown.
And that was another problem with Vanjie is like, I was like, bitch, you wrote these lyrics. How do you not know the words? Because she was like, I was like, bitch, you wrote these words. How do you not know them? What is going on here? What's happening? What's going on, honey?
Listen.
Honey, what's happening?
And I get it. In that moment, you might be a little pressed, or you might be, because she was evil the entire time. She wasn't even like her happy self.
Yeah.
Like when Todrick was talking to her, it was like, got a little happy. It was like, look, play to your audience, and not the ones even up in the Groupon ticket section, and so I was like, all right, but something, I don't know, she was just a little off. So, and then the final thing for me was, and I've said this before, I feel like Rue's being a little shady, and he's been shady towards this just in my spirit. Between Brooklyn and Vanjie,
I felt like they were forcing them into the final two. Vanjie maybe definitely deserved to be in the bottom two, but I felt like that was forced. Like the criticisms that they were giving Brooklyn
were,
I was like,
you could have gave that to Silky.
Right. I feel like really Silky deserved to be at the bottom because first of all, her line, she did the shortest performance of all of them. She had the worst sort of costume or whatever. So
and 3/4 of her damn performance was seeing her back. She was running out of the bathroom to go someplace else.
Right. So you didn't even see her damn words. So so that was
Anyway, but again, so it wound up being Brooke and Vanjie that were lip syncing,
and then Brooke did the same thing, being on point, and I'm just like,
And then Vanjie I felt like Vanjie gave up because she felt like, okay, I can't outdance her. But it's like, that's not really what it's all about. That does help, but that's not really what it's all about.
Right.
Lip sync the shit out of what the hell was the song? I forgot what the song was.
Pride.
That's right. Aretha Franklin's version
of Pride.
See,
so
that was
I mean, I like the song, not that
That was the first part. But anyway, the first problem was
Vanjie did slay her exit like she normally does.
Listen.
When she came back like the third time, I was like, are they gonna just let this bitch be on in the top 5? Is that how they gonna do it?
On all of that. She better. I don't know how she'll capitalize on that, but she better capitalize on that. Like, bitch, I'm back. And again and again and again.
I mean, I feel like she is definitely a candidate for All Stars.
Absolutely. And hopefully she won't get robbed like Shangela did, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we said we was gonna let that go.
We're not gonna let it go. I'm just not gonna.
And Brooke needed some fucking dress shields. Because every time she lifted her arms, I was like, oh, bitch, you are sweating like Whitney Houston. What is going on?
She's a man.
She's a man.
She's a man.
That's not your drag queen. That's a man, baby.
She's a man.
She's a man.
But I just.
All right, so that leaves us a top 4 of Silky, Akira, Brooke, and Evie. Evie is my favorite to win.
I feel like this is going to come down to Evie and...
It might come down to Evie versus Silky.
I feel like it's going to come down to... I think Akira is going to be in here somewhere. I don't know why. But when I think back on Akira...
It depends on the song.
But it does depend on the song.
It depends on the song. Because I feel like... Evie has an old Sasha Velour reveal.
I saw a
up
picture
her sleeve
of Evie from the finale, or I'm sorry, not from the finale, but from some event that she went to.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you,
ready.
I wasn't ready because I had to look at the picture again. I'm looking like, bitch, what? So it's very reminiscent of Lady Gaga's meat dress, but also very reminiscent of Heidi Klum's human skeleton. Mm-hmm. So picture the two together in a dress.
Okay.
It was beautiful. And I had to look because it was weird at the same time. I was like, is that what?
Right.
But listen, another shout out for Evie. Her face was beat. That was the best beat I'd seen on her face this season. Mm-hmm. Beautiful beat. But okay. But anyway.
Yeah, so I'm 100% team Evie Oddly.
Yeah, anybody against the Evie is going to lose. That's how I feel at this particular point. So
yeah, whatever the song is, because the song isn't a surprise. I mean, it's not. It would be different if they had to just like pull a song out of their ass and lip sync. Like if they say, "Here's 10 songs and you got to do one of them," but they already know ahead of time what the song is going to be. So there's more than enough time for Evie to come up with something that's going to let the kids have it.
Probably.
I feel like Brooklyn is just going to keep doing the same on point shit.
Well, yeah, probably. Or she might even run, if the stage is bigger, she might even run and get a whole big grand jeté and leap. And so it might be. But
and I feel like Akira is going to give you... Akira is that hard-working pageant queen that's
exactly
going to pull
what she
some
is.
shit.
She's going to do a Coco Montrese, and it's going to be something because she's going to be like, how come you can... Like, listen.
Right.
She's going to go back to the basics of being focused on this mouth and this... Mm-hmm. But I feel like she's going to fight. So,
yes.
But we'll see how that goes.
Well, all right, kids.
Because next week is the reunion. And then
the
after
reunion,
that is
and then it's the final.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to the reunion.
I feel like, it's going to be taped. So, I mean, I'm sure I'll see it. Oh, no, the reunion is this week. It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Yes.
Right. And then, so a week from tomorrow is the finale.
The finale, yeah.
Yes.
So, but anyway.
So, the BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. If Silky wins, I swear for Creflo.
I'm boycotting the show.
No, we aren't, because we didn't boycott it when Shangela lost, and we didn't boycott it then.
I wasn't never going to boycott the show when Shangela lost.
I
was very
I considered
upset.
it for 5 seconds. But
I'm too nosy.
Which is an eternity in gay time. So, episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Excuse me. You could also catch episodes on iTunes as well as SoundCloud. I know, we fancy. We are fancy. Mm-hmm. So, currently we are able to host a small but enthusiastic studio audience. So please come and sit your ass down and look at us while we talk. If you can't be in our audience but want to interact, you should call and chat with us at 240-719-2560. One more again. 240-719-2560. 240-719-2560.
Ow!
Okay. So, Epic, how can the kids get in contact with you?
So, children, you can reach me if you go onto Facebook. You can search me.
We should make that as a song. We should be like 240-719-2560.
Oh, we changed it.
Oh, yeah, I get
it.
it.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, I got it.
Shuffle ball change.
Okay, I got it.
Yes.
So, you can reach me on Facebook by looking for Epic Onyx, and you will find me. You can also find me on Instagram at Epic Onyx1, and you can also find me on. I just did that incorrect. You can find me on Twitter at Epic Onyx1. You can find me on Instagram at I am Epic Onyx. How can they reach you?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/dominion.onyx, and www.domonyx.com. Hopefully I'll actually find some time to write up some of my adventures from IML and share them
in between
with
the blogs.
world.
Dateline. I need to know what's.
No, I'm not doing that every day. You'll get a.
What can we? I mean, can I? Like, I mean, come on. Can we get? I mean, but
I'll write it down. I'll be like, and then I stuck it in.
I don't want that. I just want to know I just want to know. Listen, can we get a body count? Can we get like a? I mean,
you will. That'll all be in the blog. Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, can we get a daily?
I'm gonna be in the middle of the body count. And then
at night, first of all, you roll over in the morning, you check your messages. You can hit send in the morning.
Well, I can text you.
Thank you. What the hell? I don't understand what's so difficult. God.
All right, kids. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Mwah.